So we're here today, 1081 Tebow, and Mayor Tim Keller is here to red tag a persistently non-compliant business property. There are about 30 non-compliant business properties in District 6 and District 9. Here today with us, in addition to Mayor Keller, is Councilor Harris. We also have Planning Director David Campbell here, Deputy Director Brennan Williams. We have representatives from Code Enforcement and representatives from the Safe City Strike Force here with us today. Safe City Strike Force is usually the division that takes care of red tagging properties, but today we have Mayor Keller here to red tag this property.
All right, so actually first I'm going to ask our city councilor, who is one of the sponsors of the ordinance that we're putting to use here, to speak first, and then we'll take care of business.
So thanks for coming. This has actually been something that's been almost 17 years in the making. The first supermarket closed down in 2001, and this has been a problem property ever since then, and it's only getting worse. As we all know, we all own property, or at least homeowners own property, and we know we can't keep our property looking like this because it drags down the neighborhood. This is something that we all have responsibilities for, in particular businesses have responsibilities for. I get so many complaints from the community about this property. It is private property, but they have responsibilities. We passed an ordinance about a year ago called the Dilapidated Building Ordinance, and it imposes responsibilities on property owners like this, or properties like this, and they're not complying. They either need to fix up this property or they need to get rid of it and sell it to someone who will. So we're in the first stage of that process to hopefully bring them in compliance, and if not, then we have some more tools of the city to get their attention, and this is the start of that.
All right, so a couple of thoughts on this. Firstly, for Don and I, this actually has been a long road. I was the state senator for this community now almost 10 years ago is when I first got elected. And one of the things I talked about when I was running for state senate here was we've got to do something with this intersection. This is on, of course, Route 66, our mother road. We have a lot of activity going on at Route 66 and Tramway, a lot of activity going on at at Eubank. And this intersection right here has been sort of holding back this entire part of our city for about a decade. And so I tried to do something as state senator, was unable to. As state auditor, really wasn't in my wheelhouse, and it's something that I actually never forgot. So in some ways, this is unfinished business, and for both of us, we are very grateful to be up here finally as a city doing something about this property, and this is just the beginning. We are going to begin holding property owners accountable for not keeping up their building and keeping it up to code throughout our city. Thanks to these new ordinances and a new administration, we are going to aggressively pursue this all over Albuquerque. And that's because these properties are not only tied to economic development issues, but also to crime. And so when you look at the different violations, whether it's the standards of the parking lot, whether it's landscaping, or it's actually accessibility, especially in the winter, and as you go down to sort of that side of the building, you can see how the access and so forth is there. We have vagrancy problems, we have crime, perhaps gang and drug activity. We know that especially commercial buildings and residential, they are really the nexus in many ways for local area crime. And so this is part of addressing crime from all sides by our administration. Now, council also gave these divisions some extra funding. So our Code Enforcement and Safe City Strike Force have extra dollars to hire more resources. If folks are interested in Albuquerque and helping out, please apply on NeoGov. But we are going to be bringing essentially more troops to the battleground here to help with this. And the last thing I would share is that in Albuquerque, it's going to take a long time, but we are going to take back the public realm. We are taking back our spaces. And this has to do with what we're going to be doing at parks, has to do with what we're doing at Civic Plaza. It also means what we're doing with these big vacant commercial buildings. We are taking back our community one block at a time, and it's starting right here on this intersection. So with that, we are actually going to do what we need to do legally, which is post notice. And this is the sign of a non-substandard building. This is the first step in a 60-day process that could lead to additional action, fines, liens, court actions on the property owner. This property owner has been contacted numerous times, has failed to respond, and as we know, for working on this for 10 years, I don't think we've heard from them in even longer. And so hopefully this will get their attention and they'll fix up this building and put it to good use. All right, so let's go do it. Thanks, Don. Keep her there. We're gonna have to throw a little staple in here.
Okay.
I'll try not to get your finger.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll talk to him in 60 days. Thanks.
Thank you.